Hey, you guys. So I'm back again with another message from the Lord. This particular message is about your enemies. A lot of God's children, we have been going through a lot of warfare. A lot of warfare. It's like when we feel like we're coming out of one warfare, we're going right back into another one, right? Or we just feel like if it's not one thing, it's another, back to back to back to back. And God dropped in my spirit this morning. He said he is building his case. So he is building his case against our enemies. God has me in the book of Job, right? I told you guys before, God has me in the book of Job. And God allowed Job to go through all those trials and tribulations that the devil took him through. He allowed the devil to attack Job because he knew Job was not going to curse him. He was building his case against the devil when it came to Job. Like, okay, I'm gonna let you do all this stuff to Job, but he not gonna curse me. So God is allowing your enemies to attack you because he's allowing them to give him evidence to build his case against them. So whenever that judgment and that wrath come, God have a substantial amount of evidence that he can put and he can show your enemies, hey, you did this, that, and the third. It's like a court case, right, y'all? And y'all look, I love court shows. Like I love like the Law and Order and the NCIS and all these different court shows or whatever. But like in order for them to have a legitimate solid case, they have to have a substantial amount of evidence to prove a person guilty or to prove a person innocent. Well, or to prove a person guilty, because you're innocent until you're proven guilty. So God is allowing them to do whatever they're doing so he can get enough evidence on them to prove his case against them. So God is building his case. That's why it's like you like, okay, God, when the devil gonna stop, or when my enemy's gonna stop, it's gonna come to an end. God's gonna give you double for your trouble. But right now he's allowing them to build, he's allowing them to do whatever they're doing so he can build his case against them. And y'all, when that judgment and wrath hit, it's gonna be 10 times worse, 7 times worse how they came against you. But God is allowing them to do whatever they're doing so he can build his case against them. Because I told y'all guys in this season that God is dealing with a lot of people's heart posture. And a lot of people in this season, in this hour, call themselves children, call themselves men and women of God, and they got a jacked up heart posture. And they don't read their word, right? They're like the Pharisees and the Sadducees. If they do read their word, the word apply to everybody else, but it don't apply to them. And y'all, we have to practice what we preach, and we have to live the word. We have to live the word, and we have to live the word and be judged by the word. And they are going to be judged in this season for what they have done to you, what they have done against God, because a lot of them, they think that they just did it against you, but it came against the God you serve. Because a lot of you all are operating in the spirit of obedience. A lot of you all are just fulfilling your assignments and working on your assignments that God had called you to work on in this season, in this hour. And so here come the enemy, want to attack a child of God that's being about his father's business. But God is saying that he is building his case. God is building his case against your enemies. And he's allowing it so he can get enough evidence to charge them in this season, in this hour, because justice will be served. We serve a God of justice, right? But God is getting enough evidence so that justice can be served on your behalf. All right. If you are going through any type of warfare during this season, during this hour, and you might want to read the book of Job. And I was trying to figure out why God told me to read the book of Job. And I'm like, okay, God, why you got me in the book of Job? And in the book of Job, I really understand that Job was just human, and Job jumped to a lot of conclusions in that book. But God is also showing me too, now that I'm getting further in the book of Job, how he is the God of justice and how he will allow the enemy to attack you so he can build his case against them. And that's what God is doing in this season, in this hour. Count it all joy, because you will be restored double for your trouble. But just make sure when you are going through what you are going through, you're going through it in the right heart posture. You're not jumping to conclusions But God is going to deal with your enemies in this season, in this hour. That's why it's very important, if God has told you to separate during this season, during this hour, from people, you need to do it. And another reason why God allowed the warfare to come too is because he wanted people to separate from you. Excuse me, y'all. He wanted people to separate from you. He wanted people to get from away from you. Excuse me, y'all. Because these people cannot go with you to your next level. So he wanted these people to get away from you. He wanted these people to see you at your lowest, or they thought they saw you at your lowest, but it was all part of God's plan. Because if people can't be with you during your lowest, during your struggling season, they don't need to be with you during your blessed season. And God has allowed some people to turn on you so you can actually see their heart posture, the hidden things that was in their heart that was always there. But God wants me to come and to encourage you and let you know that he is building his case against your enemies. And you will get double for your trouble. But we have to go through this process, through this season of God gathering and collecting his evidence against your enemies, because justice will be served for you in this season and in this hour. So, all right, you guys, I love you all. I pray that you guys have an amazing day. Stay encouraged. Go and read the book of Job if you're going through a lot of warfare. Like I said, stay encouraged, pray fast. It's going to come to an end soon, because when a man ways pleases God, his enemies are made to be at peace with him. But right now, God is just collecting evidence. All right. So I love you guys again. I pray that you all have an amazing day, and I will chat with you all later.